Dr. Patrick Schroeder, a research fellow at the Institute of Development Studies, explains why the circular economy makes sense for global corporations like H&M.
Prices across many sectors are increasing constantly. So, like forward-looking businesses, they're always looking at, and one of the issues is they want to reduce risks. And so spikes in resource prices, these are big risks for them. And so they are looking at ways of saving costs. But these are, in a way, experiments at the moment, so it's not quite clear whether they can actually, whether these business models work, how many costs can be reduced. And this other part which comes in and which companies haven't figured out yet is this kind of like reverse logistics type of thing. So if consumers take, I think H&M, they have this kind of take back, right? You can bring your
conscious,
clothes.
H&M conscious.
Yeah,
I was
bring
going to
us
ask
back,
you about that. Yeah.
and then, so I'm not too familiar with how it works in detail.
Yeah.
But generally for companies, they need to, because then this needs to be brought back to another facility where it's kind of reused or reprocessed, etc. So on the one hand, the companies, they need to set up these additional take-back mechanisms, make it work in terms of economy, and also consumers need to also engage in this.
But the H&M conscious thing, what they do is you go and you hand in your textiles and they give you, I don't know, per kilogram or something, they give you £5 store credit.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they are technically trying to recycle, they're also perpetuating this whole cycle of buying more and more clothes. If you have £15 on H&M store credit, you're not going to waste it. You're going to get more stuff. And only like, I think 3% of everything they make is like from recycled, or not even that, not even 2%, maybe like 1%. So it's, do you think that stuff like that, when it's done by such a huge corporation, is just kind of like a front trying to say that we're trying to do, give back, but actually it's nothing?
Yes, that's a good point. And there's also a debate on this. For example, especially in kind of, if you talk about sustainable consumption in relation to the circular economy, and then business, or if you can talk about greenwashing as well. So, is this really going to be? Is the business really going to be restructured along these lines in terms of becoming circular, or is it just like a very tiny part that can be used by the large companies for kind of like for public relations as kind of social responsibility type of thing? But in relation to the overall business model, it doesn't really make them more sustainable at all. That's a question. And also the other question is also relates to consumerism. And the fashion industry is very much part of this whole paradigm of consumerism. So on the one hand, people say, okay, we need to reduce consumption levels, which in a very in the sense would mean, okay, you need to buy less stuff. And there's more and more, as people realize that there's a truth to that. So the promise of the circular economy in a way is, no, actually you don't need to buy less stuff. You can just continue consuming as before, and we'll take care of all of these issues. But that's so far kind of like, it hasn't happened yet. That might be, it's kind of like a vision, and whether this can be done or not is another question, and whether this is actually also desirable is something else.